Here's a theme song, you know it's not a mean song. It's a good song, just as it should song. American brews and tunes. Shibbity beeby dow.
Hippity hoppity hoo.
What's up? Sorry.
That was a very weird burp.
Sorry, I tried to force out a bigger burp after you said hippity hoppity hoo. Bap. I wanted it to be bigger, but it was
like hippity hoppity hoo.
it was a little baby burp.
Baby burp. Anyways, we're back 1 week later for American Brews and Tunes.
Oh, yeah.
My name is Stephen Johnston.
And my name is Jesse Titus.
Wow, thanks for returning to listen for another regular formatted episode.
Yeah.
Episode number 96.
96.
Wow.
Man, we're nearing the 100 mark.
Wow.
Pretty awesome.
For those of you who listened last week, you already know what we're going to be talking about. But for everybody else, which is pretty much everyone in general,
who knows?
I will be reviewing an album that Jesse had me listen to called These Four Walls by the Scottish band We Were Promised Jetpacks.
Jetpacks.
Scottish, that's a hard accent to do.
Yeah, I can't do it.
I always want to go Irish. But you look at the Irish. They want to be like a charms.
You want to go with
Scottish.
The Hollywood Irish.
Oi, laddie.
What is the movie Snatch? What is that accent?
That is...
is it
it's a British movie.
That's a British accent?
Unless you mean Brad Pitt in that movie.
Brad Pitt, yeah.
He's what's the politically correct word for gypsy?
Gypsy?
Yeah.
Is that an offensive word?
I think so.
I don't know.
I don't know, but that's what he is.
That's what they are, though?
It sounds
I
like...
thought it was a different name, though.
It's like Scottish. It's like, it sounds like it's an Irish. I think it sounds Irish almost.
It's really difficult to understand, though.
Very. And they do that on purpose because they try and sell things all the time.
Yeah. He did a good job in that movie.
Oh, so good. He was a little boxer, remember that?
Yeah, yeah.
The bare knuckle boxing?
Yeah. Pretty intense. Also, just a really good movie. Who directed that again? Was that Paul Thomas Anderson?
No, that was... Oh, geez, what's this guy's name? Guy Ritchie.
Guy Ritchie,
What's this guy's name? The English term for gypsy is offensive. Oh, the word gypsy is sometimes offensive, I guess. But it's usually refers to Romani people.
Romani people, okay.
But not always. But anyways, back to We Were Promised Jetpacks, the Scottish band.
That was a weird tangent.
I will review that album in a few minutes, but before we get there... shall we talk about a brew?
Yeah, if you remember from last week, Stephen mentioned that we are going to be having a really well-aged beer this time.
This one has been aged for 5 years.
Yes, but...
It's a Saison.
Yeah, but the reason why I'm excited about the fact that it's aged 5 years is because they use the Brett strain of yeast.
Yeah, and what beer is this again?
It is a beer from Crooked Stave, the Colorado Wild Sage Brett Saison.
Yeah, Brett is a type of bacteria, I believe.
I thought it was a yeast strain.
It's a type of yeast. You're right, I think. I'm thinking lactobacillus bacteria that they sometimes put in sours. I'm wrong.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Brett is it's a yeast. Let me read the description here. Maybe that'll give some insight.
Go for it.
Artisan ale brewed with fresh white sage and lemongrass. Brewed with the backcountry in mind, Colorado Wild Sage displays a bright floral aroma, soft herbal notes, and a crisp Brettanomyces bite from primary fermentation and further conditioning with our mixed yeast culture. Brewed with all Colorado ingredients in order to deliver a little bit of the high country to everyone who decides to share this beer with us. So that doesn't really give a great description of what Brettanomyces is, but it's a yeast strain that's a little funky, a little weird, and it's a little different and hard to control sometimes. It changes over time.
Yeah, it does. So that's why I haven't had a Brett beer in a while.
Me neither.
So I don't really have anything to compare this to, but I'm still excited to see what it tastes like. Because I have no idea what it's going to taste like.
I just cracked the bottle, and it smells a little tart.
Okay.
A little funky.
Nice.
I've had some Brett IPAs before, and they're usually pretty good, but...
They were definitely funky, but I think a Saison is probably a better vehicle for Brett yeast strain.
Yeah, so that the hops don't
probably
bury it.
Yeah, bury it at all. So I'm pretty excited to try this. As I'm looking at it, it kind of looks like apple juice. It has like a really golden light color.
Yeah, it's not hazy at all.
Not hazy at all. Yeah, I would say like if you pour a little Mott's apple juice, kind of looks like that.
It kind of smells like
With
Mott's
some foam
apple
on top.
juice mixed with beer.
Yeah, I think I can get some of like
It's
it's,
got that
almost
fruity,
like
fruitiness.
a honey sweetness smell to it.
I guess that would be the floral aspect that they were talking about.
Yeah, I'm excited to try this though.
It smells pretty interesting. I'm very excited to try it too.
Yeah.
Have you had anything from Crooked Stave before?
I think maybe you have had something on the podcast in the past, so I tried it.
I've had some of their stuff, but not too. It's not readily available in Nashville.
Yeah.
Every once in a while they'll come in, and they're usually expensive. I think this bottle was like $10 or something, which for one bottle of beer, one like 12-ounce bottle, that's quite a bit.
Yeah.
So hopefully it was worth it to age it for this long.
We'll see.
As we say on American Brews and Tunes.
Ship-a-da-beep-a-doo!
Down the 5-year hatch. Ooh,
Oh my.
that is
Whoa.
tart. I think they put some extra lemon in that lemongrass.
Wow. But do you
It
taste
is
how well
floral.
balanced it is though?
Yeah.
Like you get that initial note of tartness, but then you get like the really like floral, what they say, white sage.
Yeah.
You get like that really kind of earthy floralness on the back end of the palate. And that's really nice.
That's really good.
It tastes
The aftertaste
it's
is so
really
good.
smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At first, I wasn't expecting how tart it was. I think the next sip I have will,
Ooh.
now that I expect that, is won't be as intense. So
Yeah.
I'll be able to at least, I'll be able to
It-
find the other flavors.
It reminds me almost of like this similar profile of gin in a way, but not as juniper-y.
Makes sense.
Does that make sense?
Less botanical.
Yeah, less botanical, more floral. It's really that's a good beer though.
That is. I'm enjoying that. If the beer tastes at all different to us as it warms up, we'll let you know. Sometimes when beer warms up, the flavors are a little easier to pick out. Otherwise, let's jump into this album, shall we?
Let's do it.
Like I said, the band is We Were Promised Jetpacks. The album is These Four Walls. This is their debut album, released in 2009.
Yeah.
They were a pretty popular Scottish band. Fun little fact, they toured with their label mates, Frightened Rabbit.
Yep.
I mean, how many other Scottish bands can there be?
Probably quite a few.
Not that I know of. Yeah,
These are-
there's probably tons.
Yeah.
I'm not as familiar with the Scottish music scene, but there's got to be plenty.
Yeah.
I'm sure. They've got a pretty interesting sound. I'd say it's like indie rock, with a little bit of what I would say is post-pop punk flair. Not a pop punk band by any stretch of the imagination, but some of like the guitar tones and some of the way that they play the guitar makes me think that they maybe listened to it growing up or something like that.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, definitely not a pop punk band. That's why I said with a
definitely
I said
not
with
a
a
pop
twinge
punk, yeah.
of post pop punk flair.
Yeah.
because it's not at all. If like you're expecting pop punk, look elsewhere because it's not
Yeah,
what
it's
this is.
definitely not pop punk.
Yeah. The lyrics in this album, I'm assuming the rest of their albums, I don't know, but the lyrics in this one in particular are super vague and they're not literal at all. It's hard to tell
Yeah.
specifically what he means, except for maybe one song where I can tell what it means, and I'm sure there's an allegory in there somewhere.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be guessing a lot or just saying I don't know.
Yeah, I think they definitely use a lot of metaphors,
Metaphor.
as they would maybe say.
A metaphys.
A metaphor.
Yeah. They really like to build up songs and
Oh,
crescendo.
yeah. They use dynamics a lot.
A lot.
on this
Yeah,
album.
that's their biggest friend, I would say. There's also something interesting I found that they do on multiple songs is where like they'll have their verses and choruses and whatnot. But for like the last chunk of a song, they'll almost introduce like a new melody or a new idea, and you'll think that the song's going to go somewhere, and then it ends.
Yeah.
So it's like a different idea introduced at the end.
This is shown in the first song, right?
Yeah, I mean it's shown in a lot of songs.
Yeah,
but you're right.
I just initially thought of the first song.
Yeah, it threw me off on the first listen when that happened because I was like, what? Just like that.
Yeah. What?
But yeah, it was not at all what I was expecting.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's not a bad thing. How did you hear this band?
I think it was in days when I was using Pandora. Right now I use Spotify. I don't use Pandora anymore. But basically you could choose an artist and then they would like play similar songs.
Yeah.
So I think I made one for Frightened Rabbit.
That makes sense, because how many Scottish bands could there be?
Yeah, and then I believe the song Tiny Voices came on that playlist. And then after that, I was like, oh, I like that. I'll check that album out. And so I did.
Very nice. So you check the album out first, so I could check it out second.
That's right. And then you guys can check it out third, if you want to.
Let's dive in, shall we?
Let's.
The first song is called "It's Thunder and It's Lightning."
And it's thunder. And it's lightning.
I was waiting for it. I knew it was coming. This is a very good intro to the sound.
Yeah.
Like I said
100%.
before, build-ups.
Yep.
This song starts off with just a guitar and vocal, almost for an entire minute, which is, I mean, that's not a problem at all. There's some light percussion and bells that come in eventually, and then after the 2-minute mark, everything builds up to a climax, and that's when everything happens in the songs.
Yeah.
On full steam ahead.
Yep.
It's a good song. It's got pretty good energy. Definitely used to the dynamics. What the song's about, not 100% sure, but I'm more sure on this song than some of the other ones. At the beginning of the song, it's the character who was out at a club or a party, so just somewhere with his friends, and he's coming back into his house. It seems like it's his parents' house because he's trying to be quiet,
Yeah.
and not wake anyone or disturb anyone. But as he's trying to fall asleep, he's got a brainstorm going on, and there's thunder and lightning, and he just can't go to sleep. He's thinking about what I assume is a girl, or somebody he's thinking of. I don't know. So he's got the proverbial thunder and lightning of the brainstorm, but maybe it's real thunder and lightning. I don't know.
Who knows?
Maybe, but he is thinking of all kind of things there.
Yeah. But that's definitely a good introduction to
To the sound and
the general sound that you'll be hearing throughout the rest of the album.
And I don't want to say they have a formula, but this fits into their
General formula. Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't want to put them in a box, but
Yeah.
this introduces you to them.
Yep.
Song number 2 is called "Ships with Holes Will Sink," and that is technically true without proper engineering.
Yes, that is very true.
Yeah, I guess every ship probably has a hole. It's just the hole is where you sit.
Where you sit?
Yeah, like in the canoe, the hole's on the top and you sit in the hole. It's just me being stupid, though.
I guess, yeah, technically that's a hole.
Yeah. This song's got like the double or quadruple time on the hi-hats, like the while they do-ka, and then that switches between the opening of the hi-hats on the upbeat, so skats.
Yeah.
So it's got that club
That
dance
like
beat,
dance feel.
which will come back in a lot of songs, but the first time I heard the song, I immediately thought of Arctic Monkeys.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Because they've got that similar thing from the one album you had me listen to, which was
whatever they tell me, they tell you about me isn't true or something like that.
Whatever They Say I Am
not.
Whatever that album's called. The guy with this guy smoking a cigarette on the cover.
Yes, that one.
But that's what I thought of immediately. And not just because they have accents, but because of that drum beat.
Not just because they have accents.
Yeah, but like I said, that beat comes back and you can really dance to this song. I don't know what he's talking about in this song.
Yeah. Whenever I was listening to this album too, it was like I kind of maybe have like a vague idea of a metaphor that maybe he's implying.
Because he talks about like breaking down physically and like losing limbs.
Yeah.
But then he talks about the ship with holes will sink and I'll swim. So I don't know. Can you swim with no legs? I don't know. There's something that's going on and I can't really tell.
Yeah.
Moving on to track number 3, which is called "Roll Up Your Sleeves." Another very dancey song, I would say.
Yeah.
They keep up the same feel from the last song where they got the upbeat and the double time on the hi-hats. I think, and I say that with hesitation, that the song is about not wanting to face the world. It sounds like it's a metaphor. They're saying they'll stay inside for the winter until it's summer, until it's warmer up.
Yeah.
You roll up your sleeves. We'll stay here till we're warm, blah, blah, blah. But then the song takes a turn about 2/3 of the way through. And this is where I would say like opens up a new idea, almost like a bridge, but then doesn't come back to...
The bridge just ends the
so
song.
it's like ABC end almost, or like ABC end.
Yeah.
And when I say ABC, I mean like song structure, like
for verse, chorus,
verse, chorus,
bridge.
verse, chorus, bridge, end.
Yeah,
Yes.
Normally a song would come back to chorus.
Yeah, but not
or
this.
an outro or something like that.
Yeah. About 2/3 of the way through, the song kind of slows down and that dancey energy is gone. And he repeats the stay calm. And as he says, stay calm, the band stays calm and doesn't come back to that the rest of the danciness.
What's that called? Whenever you... never mind. That's not the same thing.
When you suck out the energy?
No, I was going to say whenever you give not lifelike things, lifelike properties.
There's a word for that, and I'm drawing a blank.
I don't know what it is either.
But whatever that word is, that's it.
Yeah.
You learn it in English class, and that's fine. Track number 4, where they kind of slow things down a little bit, is my first recommendation. Okay. Conductor, yeah. Yeah, this one changes feel, like the vibe big time, I think.
Yeah.
Not the vibe of big dynamics and volume shifts and different hits, but it just doesn't have that dancey vibe that we were getting on the last two songs.
It's a little bit more in the indie kind of genre.
Yes.
A little bit less in the alternative, like rock.
Yeah. At
genre.
first, I thought that he was talking about a conductor, like a music conductor, like conducting a band. Because one of the lines earlier is like orchestrating, he says. I was like, oh, he's definitely a musical conductor.
But then he talks about electricity later.
Yes. And you're very quickly, he talks about being a conductor and having electricity flow through him.
Yeah.
And so he means like a conductor, like the physical property, like a metal is a good conductor of electricity, or so on and so forth. So I don't think he means an orchestrating conductor, but I don't really know why he's using that metaphor or what it's supposed to say about him.
Yeah, I just wonder if he's talking more in the terms of like being a catalyst.
Yeah, like
or something,
something that somebody uses, but he doesn't actually do anything himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure.
Maybe someone who's used a lot. I don't know. I'm a
Yeah.
conductor.
Just a conductor.
And it's a pretty long song. It builds up for a while. Then the whole song gets up to its loudest dynamic. And then it cuts out again into that real soft part with it's got like some bells going doo, 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 while the guitars are playing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it gets very chill again and then builds up slowly. So this one's, I think it has 2 really long build-ups.
Yeah.
But it's a really good song. Very catchy. I don't know what it's about.
I would probably have to go back and look at like the lyrics pretty heavily to try to have
Even
a general idea.
Who knows? But
my guess is that it's some type of a metaphor, and he most likely knows about it. It's kind of one of those situations where like
he's writing it.
Like the artist is being super vague on purpose.
Yeah.
And like he probably knows what the song's about, but he's leaving it intentionally leaving it very vague.
Yeah. This is the first song I'd say where they kind of play with some atmospheric sounds.
Okay, yeah.
Creating
I would
a mood,
agree with that, yeah.
Which is further explored atmospheric like moods on the next song.
Okay.
Big time.
Big time, man.
Track number 5 is called A Half-Built House. And I'd say this is practically an instrumental.
Pretty much, yeah.
Other than the audio voice recordings that are sampled in here. It's like a female voice saying random numbers or seemingly random numbers.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about the thing that's on there?
I don't know.
According to Genius, which has lyrics and people can annotate them and say what things mean, and this is a direct quote, I'm going to say what they talk about here. The numbers are recorded from a numbers station, semicolon. A shortwave radio station that is believed to send message to intelligence officers in foreign countries. Spies.
Interesting.
So I'm not sure what that means, but while that's going on, there's really heavily reverb-soaked guitars and different kind of noises and stuff going all over the place.
Yeah.
Very odd-sounding song.
It's almost like an interlude.
Yeah, that's a good word for it. This goes on for maybe about 2 minutes, though. It's
just about 2 minutes, maybe a little bit more than that. I can't remember exactly.
Yeah. But it's an interesting song to put on here, right at the center of the album. Moving on to track number 6, this song is called This Is My House, This Is My Home. And this is a slower mid-tempo song, kind of like the first song. It's Lightning, It's Thunder, whatever that song's called.
Yep.
I always mix up It's Lightning, It's Thunder, It's Thunder, It's Lightning. One of the two.
One of the two.
Similar to that, it's just guitar and vocals at the beginning until other instruments kind of slowly join and that builds up. So it's, again, playing with dynamics, building things on there, building a song as you listen. I'm not entirely sure what it's about again.
Yeah.
But he's talking about not like leaving his home and staying there. But then he references the attic and how something bad happened up there and he doesn't want to go up there. Mm-hmm. They'll find out, or they've already found out, he says. They're coming for me. So I don't know. Maybe he committed a crime.
Maybe it's just a song
Maybe he's
about that's supposed to kind of incite some like sort of anxiety.
Yeah, about being at
In
your
a way.
house when there's
Yeah.
bad things that have happened there, or you
Yeah.
don't like your house, but it's your house.
Yeah.
So it's hard to tell. Hard to tell for sure, but I don't know. It's interesting to think about. On to track number 7, which is my second recommendation. The song's called "Quiet Little Voices."
Yep.
Faster tempo's back finally. Not that the other songs are bad. It's just I like to get back to the upbeat stuff.
Yep. For sure.
Dancey drums again, and there's definitely shouty voices. Quiet little voices.
Yep.
Like there's really a catchy chorus in there. And this is
They have the oh.
Yeah.
O's. They have
I
the
think-
O's going on.
This might be one of the catchiest songs on the album.
Definitely. I agree with you there.
I think it's probably the first song that I really liked on the first listen. There was 2 songs that struck me when I listened first. This
Yeah.
one and another one I'll touch upon later.
Okay.
But this is definitely like a really boisterous sounding song, very high energy. I think you needed that it's well placed.
To bring it back up.
Yeah, this album's very well sequenced, I think, in general.
Yeah.
The energy of all the songs, they put some thought into that. Or maybe they didn't, and it just worked out.
There's no way they didn't think about it.
Yeah, I don't think so. It's hard to say for sure, but I had a little bit of help from Genius and some people's annotations that this song is about love and being afraid to fall in love or being afraid to act on it.
Yeah.
Because he's saying like, I'll die for you.
Yeah.
But then he hears the voices that are like monsters and he's afraid. So it could be about love or being afraid to follow through with that love. But who knows? It's interesting. Very catchy song. This would be fun to see live. I would like to
definitely.
to dance to this song live. Moving on to track number 8, which is called "Moving Clocks Run Slow." Do they though? The title and the line that he says about moving clocks run slow seems to contradict the chorus a little bit. Because he says that midnight, or he says we're fast approaching midnight. And so when I hear that, I think time's moving fast. So it's a relative thing. Maybe it's a psychological thing that's going on with this song.
Could be, yeah.
So who knows? I think this is about love and trying to love while time is running out. It's another dancey song.
Sorry, I thought I was going to sneeze. I think I'm good. Okay.
It's another dancey song with the opening of the hi-hats on the upbeat.
Yes.
But another good song, I guess. Let's move on to track number 9, shall we?
Alrighty.
The song is called "Short Bursts."
Short bursts.
I'm not sure what accent I did there, if it was Scottish or Irish. Is probably incorrect for both. But this song has a lot of colorful imagery.
Okay.
The color red. Lots of bleeding out. He talks about leaving with somebody. I'm assuming somebody he's in love with, or maybe not. I don't know. But leaving before their blood will hit the floor. And he says this multiple times. So I think this has a similar theme to what I was mentioning on the past song. Where like time is limited, we'll all die eventually, so take advantage, go take risks while you can.
Yeah.
Maybe love in this case.
Yeah.
Again, I could be wrong. It's hard to tell, and it's a strange metaphor to use
Yeah.
because they're bleeding and his blood's turning red. But it's one where somebody looks at him and his blood starts doing something. I don't know. But it's a good one.
Doing something, I don't know.
This is the one that has that tom beat.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So it's got this driving beat on the toms. And the music kind of cuts in and out from time to time, but the drums kind of always stay consistent throughout.
Okay.
So it's a high energy song, but it's a very strange aesthetic.
Okay.
Yeah. Moving on to track number 10, the penultimate track. I give this one an honorable mention. It's called "Keeping Warm."
Keeping warm. Yep.
It's the longest song on the album, easily.
Wow, you gave a long song an honorable mention.
It clocks in at 8 minutes and 13 seconds.
Oh,
and if
wow,
it was
yeah.
up to me, I would split this into 2 songs.
Okay.
Because I think it is 2 songs.
Okay.
I mean, clearly it isn't. But the first 4 minutes, like maybe 4.5 minutes,
Yeah.
is all this one musical idea that's, again, a quiet sounding song that builds up. And
That
they build
builds
up
up over
for
time,
4.5 minutes.
Yeah.
And the drums eventually will come in and
Yeah.
the only thing that they should have added is the I don't know what it's called, but the whatever that
On toms or what?
on a snare. They should have done that,
Oh,
but they
okay.
didn't. I kept hearing it in my head. I was like, "Do it, come on, do it this time. Just do it,
Isn't
do it."
that the worst? Whenever there's something you're listening to a song and there's something that you hear in your head and you're like, man, this would sound
Add
that
the
sounds
drum beat.
so good. If
I know
it was
they
on
didn't.
this song.
Last time I heard this song, I know it wasn't there. Like,
Yeah.
come on, just do it. It's like
But
a movie when you know something bad. Like you've seen a movie a ton of times and you know
Yeah.
something bad's gonna happen. You're like, just change the outcome, guys. It's about to this guy's about to come out and kill you. Just run faster. Come on.
Yeah.
Or like Apollo 13. Dude, just don't get on that spaceship. Just send someone else into space. But no, they don't do that drum beat. But that's fine. And after the song builds up, after 4.5 minutes, it kind of climaxes and cuts out, and it's a very different song. The dancey drums come in, and the lyrics come in. So for that first 4.5 minutes, no vocals.
Okay.
The second half of the song, vocals. It's a pretty interesting sounding song. He's talking about like how rare it is to be born, and
Okay.
how he's talking to someone like how rare it is for you to be born. Like that's something special. Like the odds of you being born are so slim, and you're young, so you can learn. You can take your time. So I think this is again another one of like take advantage because it's
advantage of the
it's a
time
miracle
you
that
have.
we're here and it's running out.
Yeah.
So that's a common theme for the past 3 songs.
That reminds me of
What I think.
Vampire Weekend song, Young Lions.
Is
At
that
the
on
end, at the end
Modern
of
Vampires of
Modern
the City?
Vampires of the City, yeah. Where he's like, essentially says like, take your time, young what does he say? Take your time, young lion. It's just, essentially, I'm assuming that's what he's saying in that song. Like, it's like, hey, you've got time. Take your time. You know, you
Take advantage.
person who are young, take your
Yeah.
time to figure things out.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Let's move on to the last song and probably my favorite. My last recommendation.
okay,
An Almighty Thud.
that's what the song's called. And Almighty Thud.
Yeah. And while this song might be a metaphor, it's pretty literal, lyrically at least.
Okay.
That doesn't really make sense. That's like a oxymoron. I know. I'll explain. But it's a really, really nice, slower song. Just the vocals and this really warm-sounding finger-picked guitar.
Okay. Yeah.
With that guitar melody, dun 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 dun, and his vocal melody kind of doubles that.
Yeah.
I lost my crown, and it hit the ground with an almighty thud. I think that's the words.
Okay.
But that's what happens. He's a king in some type of feudal system or something.
Okay.
So maybe Scottish talking about the British. I don't know. That's another time for a history podcast. Not here. But this character, whoever he is, he's shown his weakness to his people somehow. He's talking about losing his crown, how everybody saw. And he was forced to abdicate the throne. So somebody else took the throne. He was forced to give it up. He talks about like when wars were going on, instead of being out with his men, he was in his castle. So not a good king of any sort.
He was in these 4 walls.
Yes, he was. But he seems content with where he's ended up. Maybe in exile or in some other place. And
Yeah.
he's very just content with it. Like it's where he is and he wants to be. Which is kind of interesting. I'm not sure if it's a metaphor. I don't know. Maybe it's just about a king. But
Maybe.
it makes me think that it's about something else.
I would assume so, yeah. Since, I mean, all the other songs talking about, you know, walls and houses and attics and
Yeah.
whatever else. I'm sure it's no accident that he's talking about where this guy is living.
Yeah. So it's definitely something, but I don't know. Who knows what it's from? Apparently this was on an episode of Sons of Anarchy.
Oh, really?
I don't know. I was watching one of the YouTube things and everyone's like, Sons of Anarchy brought me here. And I was like, Jesse brought me here. I didn't put that, but I should have. Oh, man. I've never watched Sons of Anarchy, but I've heard it's
Neither have I.
interesting.
That's the show
About like
with that one dude, right? The
Hellboy, Ron Perlman.
yeah, Hellboy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did you see him getting on Twitter fights with a bunch of Republican politicians?
No.
Yeah, it's funny right now. He's
Is it?
he's cracking me up a little bit. But let's close the album here.
All right.
All in all, pretty good album.
Yeah.
Other than An Almighty Thud and Quiet Little Voices, nothing really blew me away.
Yeah.
But I didn't dislike any single song.
Okay.
I like the album pretty much through and through. I'll definitely return to it and listen to it again.
At some point.
Yeah, I'll probably definitely at least download those 2 songs because I really like them.
Yeah.
And I might check out some of their other stuff too. I did listen to a couple other songs and from their later catalog, and this one sounded like it had way better production value. So
Really?
who knows?
Huh.
Maybe they changed labels and had less of a budget. I don't know. Who knows? But I wonder if this is a concept album. You were just briefly touching upon it.
It kind of seems like it is.
Like, I mean, there are songs that have literal references to homes in the title.
Yeah.
More than one song. The very first song has him returning to a home quietly. The last song has him leaving a home loudly.
Sounds like could be a potential concept album.
So I think that there's definitely a concept. Most songs have some reference to a home or a place.
Yeah.
So I think that that's definitely a theme there.
Mm-hmm.
Lots to think about, lots to consider. I don't know what it means, but it's
a
topic.
I'll have to go back and kind of dig into the lyrics of that album. Because whenever I was listening to it, I never really dug too far into the lyrical aspect of that album. Whenever I started listening to it, I just really, really liked like all the instrumental stuff, all the super like good uses of dynamics, and the way they built the songs.
Yeah,
is the main reason why I started listening to that album. But I'll have to go back and listen to the lyrics.
Yeah, they're out there as far as meaning wise.
Yeah.
So looking forward to next week. We will do another one-off.
Yes.
We're going to be doing the album The Nashville Sound by Nashville musician Jason Isbell and the 400 Unit.
Yes, I'm excited for this.
Is this our first quote unquote country album?
I mean, yeah, I guess
it's probably the countryest album.
They probably technically classify him as a country artist, right?
I wouldn't say it's not.
I would say it's more like folk rock.
Yeah.
It seems like,
but it's the most country that we will have ventured into.
That's definitely true.
But that's next week. The following 2 weeks will be regular formatted episodes, and after that is episode number 100.
Are we doing something special for that?
Yes, but we'll save that as a surprise for you guys.
Yeah.
Getting back to the beer.
Yeah.
What did you think as it warmed up?
Honestly, the flavors kind of stayed the same, but
I think so too.
I'm okay with that.
I think so
because
too.
It still tastes really good.
Definitely after having that first sip, like kind of introduce you to the tartness.
Yeah,
it wasn't the biggest factor like on my second, third, fourth sips.
No.
So that wasn't the thing I was thinking about.
No.
So kind of like when you have like if you're trying to enjoy a nice, neat glass of whiskey.
Yeah.
You take that first sniff.
The first sip is always like.
But even just the sniff, all you smell is alcohol at first.
It's all super abrasive and really harsh. And
the second time you go in, you're used to that alcohol. You get the actual flavors.
Yeah, you get some different notes then. Yeah.
So here you just get used to that tartness, and then you can actually taste the other things.
And you can taste the floralness of it, and
the
earthiness, and
the spiciness of it's a saison.
Yeah.
So they really nailed the spices. I'm happy with this beer.
It's a fantastic beer.
I just really want to taste the fresh one now.
Yeah, I wonder what it tastes like fresh.
Yeah. It might be hard for us to find one, but if we do,
we'll give it a shot.
Yeah. Really well balanced beer. I'm going to look for more Crooked Stave stuff because I haven't had many other things recently, but it's a very good brewery.
For sure.
If you'd like to recommend an album for us, if you have any questions or concerns or just want to say hi, feel free to reach out. We're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Just look up American Brews and Tunes.
Yep.
Or you know what? Send us an email at
we do have
AmericanBrewsandTunes@gmail.com.
Yes.
We've gotten emails before.
Yeah.
You can reach us there. Anyway, or send us snail mail.
Snail mail, yeah. Our P.O. box is...
If you want to send us a letter, you probably already know where we live. So you can just go ahead and do that.
But anyway, thank you, as always, for listening.
Yeah, we appreciate you. And let's have this last little bit of beer. As we always say, Shibbity-poo-doo! Down these four-walled hatch. That is a good one. Very,
that really
very
is a good beer. Wow.
Once again, my name is Stephen Johnston.
And my name is Jesse Titus.
And we'll see you guys later.
Oh yeah.
Here's a theme song, you know it's not a mean song. It's a good song, just as it should song. American brews and tunes. Shibbity beeby da.